So what I was just recapping on, we just joined, was this trade on gold. I mean, we've also been very bullish for a good period of time, and the trade that I took earlier on was a long. What we had at that moment in time, as I said to you guys about waiting for the pullbacks, was this. My internet is being very friendly. Bear with me, guys. There we go. It was this big pullback, and then we had a bounce to the upside, and then just carried on going. So that was an awful hour for gold, from 15.21 to 14.79. Huge downturn. So as I mentioned, I've now gone back short, and I expect it to probably continue and head back down to the lows. I'm not going to hold it that long. I'm just going to be looking for you know, if I'm at 50 pips here at 95, 96, I'll cut it. Otherwise, down to 90 would be a nice trade. It might go to the upside, but the week that I've had, done sort of 9% already. I'm happy to risk a couple of percent here to see if we get some more downside. And if you look at the daily, I mean, this I can just see this sort of filling this wick and moving more to the downside. And it'd be great to get a test at the daily 20 and look for some longs from there. So I expect the higher time frame to sort of play out here, especially as it took the CPI news earlier on. Really good for the dollar, which is what caused this move and the Dow to jump up, etc. So I'm expecting just a bit of continuation there. So hopefully it'll profit on both ways, which normally, you know, I try to just stick with the trend, but I'm happy to have a little bit more risk in this trade and give back a bit of what we made today if it doesn't work out. Otherwise, I'm really looking for longs at the 1480 levels. So, as sort of missed yesterday, but it's the start of the week. Let's have a look on the daily where some things are and just see if we spot anything else. Have you guys seen anything or been trading anything or had your eye on anything at all this week? Guys, do just make sure, just because I could hear some tippy tapping, but I can't see anything coming up in the chat. Do make sure your side is muted for me. Just not letting me get to the part where I can see if that does anything. There we go. Ignore me, I'm working it out as we go. Okay, I can't see anything new in the chat. So if anyone did just type anything, do just go back in if there's anything you've been looking at and been keeping an eye on. That's gone through. So we're getting this nice bullish move on the Dow. It might be that it starts to reverse back, but I expect we'll see a bit more momentum to the upside. Jeremy 30, so a trade that I saw this morning, I didn't take, but was this rejection of the 30-minute 20, and it did plummet. At the time, I was watching the Dow, something similar, and obviously gold as well. Gold's starting to tick down nicely now. That's what we want to see. But yeah, it got completely blown out. So again, this brings a little bit of importance into managing your trades. So let's have a look at a way we do that. So for example, if this morning you'd gone short here at this level, and then we suddenly were seeing these spikes. If let's just say the 5 minute, I mean, because I like using the 5 minute as a management technique, because you tend to, so this would have been the move this morning that brought us to the downside. Once I got a crossover of the 5 minute 50, we're in front of the charts. This is very important, because if you're not, it's going to be difficult to manage a running position in comparison if you sat there. You could have closed out here, which still would have meant, yes, you've given a little bit of profit back, but not a lot. So 11,571 versus, so we got 30, let's just call it about 70 pips profit that you would have retained by using that management technique. So it does, especially when there's news and things coming out, it's really important to have something in place that means, just as much as it is limiting your risk with stop losses, we want to make sure that we're retaining profits and we're not giving stuff back. If you're running a nice 2-3%, either bank it, or if there's something coming, or if you see a sudden move, just manage accordingly. Don't be hoping that it's going to turn back around. Because if you're hoping, then it's probably going to just carry on going. So always be aware of that. Always be aware of that, guys. And that's the way that I like to manage it. If I've gone in on a trade on like the 4 hour, for example here, if I've just done a short here on this 4 hour 50, I'm going to be looking for any kind of breaks on the something like this, the 1 hour 200. Try and move it down to a lower time frame to give you an inkling that it's going to move, and then just get out or bank. If you're taking 20 pips a day out of the market, then you're doing great. If you're doing 400, 500 to 1,000 pips a month consistently, then great. That is being a great trader, and that's what we want to try and solidify in our trading techniques and everything that we do. So do always comment, and if you need any assistance with trying to manage some techniques and things, then let me know. I'm happy to help. FTSE had a bit of uplift. So Aussies have had a bit of a bullish day. Obviously, I've got a great big engulfing candle. So I would expect, so especially the yen. So Aussie against the yen, I mean, all of them across the yen pair. So euro yen, pound yen has all had quite a good day. So I would like to see more upside. So because we're getting this turnaround now, we're getting this reversal sign from this candle. What I would normally like to see is that pullback and rejection of the 1 hour 50 in continuation. The fact that it's already pulled above the 1 hour 200 and the 20s crossed over, I think we could see some more upside before we get a pullback. But I'm not going to get in just because it looks like it's carrying on. I want to at least see a pullback to the 20 EMA, if not the 50. It's like I say, it's the same on all the yen crosses. If I got a pullback and tested the 4 hour 50 here, I would be tempted, but again, then we've got to break back through that 200, and I would rather I'd rather it just catch up. I'd rather not be chasing the trade, as it were. So let's take a look at some of the others as well. But that's a really nice reversal candle. That's exactly what we're looking for, guys, to signal that things are moving the other way. And once they have, and those 20s have crossed the 50s, look for the retracements and the bounces off of the 20s for your entries on the continuation. Again, these Aussies have just had quite a good day. Aussie Chubb looks the same as the yen. Euro Aussie is tanked today. this was the trade that we took long here. You know, it's had a really good run, so I'd expect some kind of a pullback, probably to this daily 20, especially as the Aussie's got a bit of strength. So let's see if it can have a bit of a run. Euro dollar still just rejecting. I mean, it's still just in a major downtrend. People keep calling it different things, but all I see is a downtrend. So be wary of that if you're looking for any longs. Here's the euro yen. You know, massive candle. Took everything, but it's so close to that daily 20, and that's what I would generally target. So we've got this break above the border. If we get a pullback to it, then maybe I'll take a long up to it. But again, if we look on the smaller type rate, again, it's just blasted on through the 200. So there's got to be somewhere to go long from. So I definitely want to be seeing a pullback first. But again, these yen crosses are looking like a good opportunity. And euro yen being probably the best one, strongest momentum there. I don't like the pounding as much, just because of what's going on with the pound. We're not going to see as much clarity as with those. Euro NZD looks like it's turning around now. This is beautiful. You know, this has just been in continuation for ages. So this would be nice to see the pullback. So if you look down the 1 hours, we've now broken 1 hour 15. We did get that retest. We did get the retest, and it's sort of continuing. So just got a notification on this chat, guys, but it's not coming up. So I'm just going to close the chat and I'm going to reopen it to see if it brings back up anything that I've missed. So in a moment. But yeah, but if we do get another pullback to here, let's see how it lines up with those fibs. So yeah, you know, 0.382 lines up perfectly with the 50 EMA. So just be wary of that, guys. Oh, look at gold. That's what I wanted to see. She's just tanked. Let's take a quick look over there. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. That's what we wanted. Keep on going. Hopefully we're going to have another 5% by the time we're finished today. So, but yeah, that could be a potential short as well. Euro NZD, if we get another chance to short from there. Let's pull back to the dailies. CAD reversing. Guinea chop just looking bullish. The pounds have had a tough day. I mean, obviously with dollar good news, it means bad for the crosses. Therefore, the pound and everything else is well, we've seen the bloodshed. Pound NZD rejected the daily 50. Could see just further downside. It's not engulfed, so wait to see how tomorrow ends up. Pound Aussie, you know, looking really weak. Further downside expected there. This is pound yen. So we're sort of testing the back of the channel on the trend line that was done there. I think that was done on the monthly. Yeah. So we're back at this level. So this August candle that's broken below, this may be a little bit of a fake out, come back up and then carry on. So let's see what the tomorrow brings. I don't really see much potential for the upside. I mean, as you see here, rejected the 20. If we do come up, I wouldn't want to take it any further than the daily 20. Let's have a look. Yes, again, it's just shot up, but it's rejected the 200, unlike the others. So that's what I say. The euro yen is looking the best for that momentum, but let's see. chuff. Same things really. Pound CAD reversing. Dollar yen, hugely bullish day, but it's gone straight up to the daily 20. Dollar CAD. Dollar chuff. It's nice strong candle. Again, thanks to the CPI data. So, dollar chuff, we have pulled up, we're pulling back. This could very well be a nice so I mean the fibs are sort of going to line up there. We're going to get them in between the 0.32 and the 0.618. So this could be the sign of the longs. Those longs coming in. So yeah, do keep an eye. That could be a good long, especially if it goes with our gold short bias as well. So but dollar yen, when it wants to move, does tend to have a move. Gold sort of recovered and gone up now. So let's see how that progresses. Singapore dollar, big bearish candle today, so very likely further downside. Let's take a look at 1 hour. Yeah, we've blasted through, rejected the 200 at EMA, so we do get a pull back up. Would be good for more shorts.
Sorry?
Dollar. Again, we're getting some reversals there, but I'm a bit shocked seeing New Zealand dollar getting a bit of strength against the dollar, but New Zealand dollar yen looks like the others. There's CAD yen, look at that. It's really moved straight up to the daily 20. And some money is coming out of the havens, being the yen and gold, and back into other currencies as business as normal. As holidays are closing up. And so the CAD looking pretty strong, against the New Zealand dollar there. And chuff yen strong again. So likely going to see some continuations there. Take a look at this gold jumping around. Shot down, yeah, look at that low test. It's 96 and back up. Let's see. See how that continues. So look at this Dow. So this is where we want to see. I mean, the Dow can very easily move all the way back up to 27,000 in a very short space of time. So we're getting this pullback on the 4 hour. This retest on the back of this here could be a good entry. 26,237, another 40 pips. I would suggest keeping this stop below 26,180. So you're going to have quite a big stop, but it could prove to be a good move to the upside, at least up to that 200, and that's at 26.6. Good few hundred pips there potentially. Just break it down on the lower time frames. Yeah, so get that pull back to the 30-minute 20. Be a nice place to go long from. That lines up with the 4 hours as well. A little bit below the 4 hour, but it would be a nice place to go long from. Certainly be worth trying. Could, well, as I say, very quickly up to 27,000 there. I'm not getting any pinging notifications on this chat, guys, so I'm not sure whether it's working or not. Let's see if I type something. See what it does when I type myself. Yes, not doing much that chat. I'm just going to leave and jump straight back in, guys, so hopefully it will kick itself back in just a moment. Can you hear and see me okay? Swear that it may not have been giving me, it was giving me some notifications every now and again, but then it wasn't actually showing me anything. Okay, great. Apologies there, guys. I don't know why and how with this new system it was managing to do that. So, was there any questions you guys were typing in that I missed? Please do re-put them in, and we'll go back over them. Okay, what was it you wanted to know on there, Alessandro? Let's have a look. Let's load it up. Was you asking about sort of entry point? What do you mean? You jumped in straight away on the news? Yeah, you know, I mean, it would probably continue as well. You know, it was just news driven, which was frankly a bit shocking considering what the news was. Wasn't any real reason to get excited, but nonetheless, you know, it was all good. I mean, yeah, you know, that 105 has given us a double bottom. Technically, you know, price is getting squeezed. We can see price getting tighter. Technically, it was still due a bounce. You know, and we would just normally wait for the break and retest at the 1 hour 50 to trigger the longs, but it just blasted straight on through. So if you haven't been on the pullback, you know, just in case it does decide just come right back down, just because sometimes these market makers make it do funny things. But yeah, but good work. You know, we can see from today's candle, it is just majorly bullish, and likely continue. You know, it's just the only thing I'm a bit wary of is it being capped by the daily 20. Therefore, you know, if it reaches back up to that and starts rejecting, I mean, it could be back down to the lows. So just be aware of that, and manage the trade. So if you're long, let's just touch on management again, because I did it earlier on briefly. This is where I'd expect to see some kind of long from 106.2, or maybe a little bit lower, but yeah, somewhere around there would be nice. But as we're long, if we look down onto the 1 hour perhaps, if it breaks below the 1 hour 20, use that as a trigger to exit. Maybe even 30 minutes. Let's see how tight that is. Yeah, I mean, I think it'll probably bounce from there. So, you know, a spike may happen. I would say generally 0.7, maybe use that as an area. Then that's a place to get. At least then you've retained a little bit of profit. But do manage it. Do manage it. What I was mentioning earlier is how I use the 5-minute 50 as my management technique. You know, I will generally just keep an eye on this, and if it breaks below, then I'll exit the trade, because otherwise you end up giving up all of your profit back, and that's not what we want to do. So just be aware of that, and do manage. And if you can't keep on the screens, or you know it's evening time or anything like that, don't be afraid to just bank the profit. You know, profit is profit, and that is the name of the game. It's hard enough to get it, so don't be too greedy or fearful. Go down a little move up. So the take profit, I mean, we're just so close to daily 20. I mean, I would personally be looking to exit back at the daily 20 mark, which is, we saw 107 something. Just above 107, so just above the highs of today, would be for me where I would want to exit. And then, you know, if it breaks above and everything, great. But you know, I would just be conscious it could turn around there. By that I don't mean indefinitely, but it could pull back down to 106 or something, and then you've given back 100 pips if you've got some kind of stop there, just losing it. And as you've seen from trying to hold trades from like what I did while I was away, as a bit of an exercise for you guys, it's just going to cost you. It's going to cost you money to leave that trade in. So we'll take it out and recoup. By the way, Alison, did anything resonate with you when we talked about the stop losses and stuff last time? Have you made any changes there at all? Okay, good. That's good to hear. That's what it's for. No. Brilliant. No, that's good. That's good. You know, it's like I said, even though it it's accepting you could be wrong. It's sometimes better to be that way around than convincing yourself you're always going to be right. It's like, just take today for example, like with these dollars, you know, there's been nothing but downside. There was no real clue before the news of definitely turning around. As if you was holding a short and it's just gone and done that 200 pips, and what damage that would do to your account, and then mentally going for that strain, hoping it's going to come back down when it might not. And especially when now saying that we're going to manage this and manage the longs because we see it continuing. You're just going to watch your account wither away, and that's not what we want to happen. So no, that's great, good work. Always don't be afraid as well to move your stop loss. So to put it into perspective on, let's just take gold on the 1 hour, for example. If normally I would say, for example, here where we've got this sort of pullback and I've gone long. If I was looking for a certain, I would just be taking this to the top. But if I'm here, I would have moved my stop from where is it? Probably would have been here to break even, and then as it moves up further, you can keep moving your stop. And then depending on what lot sizes you've used, etc., you might be able to get in another position, keep scaling in more and more and more. Although I don't trade that way. I take my points, I get out, wait for another rejection or something, and get back in. This was the ones that we caught this week. So yeah, do just try and manage effectively. At least then, time not in a trade and not in the market is ideal because it's just less risk. And not holding, but that's another way that you can scan in positions and you can keep building and retain your profits by moving your stop loss. If you want to leave it in for longer, that is. If you don't, just bank and wait for the next entry. Oh, now taking back down. It really doesn't know what to do. I'm in at 15 over too near enough anyway, so can't be sitting around break even. Yeah, I mean, so technically New Zealand dollar and Aussie dollar, so let's just go through those. Let's look on the bigger time frame. So, come on. So we have this massive low test value, so a lot of it's to the spread, etc. So these lows, especially we've been at today, technically it should look at a point of turning up, especially after this candle, that's a good sign. It's rejected down there and it should be coming up. So that is why the technicals are playing out against the dollar strength, I guess, even though the dollar's got some strength. About 1500. Even though dollar's getting that strength, the Aussie is coming up against it, and it's just the technicals playing out. I think that it is just a case of the price needs to change. If you think about trade and things that drive prices, it's not good for them. I mean, we haven't been at this low since 2009, 10 years ago, since we were down to these levels. So, but look how quick it recovered from those lows. So, we start getting a turnaround. It could be a big one. You just have to trade what you see. That's all we can do. So look at New Zealand, NZD, USD, the Ninja. Again, yeah, I mean, it hasn't had as strong a day as the Aussie dollar. We've got this resistance here, this area, which is proving to be difficult, I guess. But if it can break back above, it's definitely during trading move since 18th of July, so almost a whole month of bloodshed. Definitely, as I say, in need of some kind of a pullback. Whether that's going to continue or not, we'll see. But yeah, it's probably just struggling a bit because we've got this dollar strength coming in now. So on the gold trade, the reason was because I had a target of just 50 pips. I wasn't looking for anything major, and there's also some support resistance at 15.10. Let's get it loaded back up. We'll use that 1 hour. All I wanted to do was capitalise on part of the move. Didn't need to be the whole move. Just wanted some of the move. So this here, where there was some support, some resistance, this is where we just wanted to be aware of. You know, could have gained from there or fell further from there. But we had a nice bounce. Got out at 50 pips, and then it come crashing down. And I did say straight away as well, one of the main reasons I was worried about holding longer was the 4 hours. So that 4 hour at the time was up here, I think, and then it broke lower, got down to the 4 hour 20, and then started coming back up. But it was looking majorly bearish, and I was just expecting to see that there could have been some further downside, which there was. I mean, it would have been a good trade. I mean, I did see this down at 1480 and the 4 hour 50, and thought about going long again, but I was just conscious of the pressure that it's had just to sell. And when stuff's on a move to the upside, it's always slower than to the downside. People buy out of greed and they sell out of fear, and therefore once it starts to slide down, then it just goes on and on, which is why we end up down here, and this is why we've had a pullback, and I expect that more people will probably sell because they'll be thinking, oh, hang on a minute, gold's getting strength, they're going to play their bets off, and could see these sort of lows again. But we'll see how it plays out for the rest of the evening and tomorrow. But it was the main reason I come out just because I had to set target, and I wasn't looking to be greedy to hold. Wasn't necessarily like the trade yesterday. So when we was actually sat there, I remember we pointed out that we'd seen the trade, which was, I think it was on 15 minutes yesterday. I think it was here, the 15-minute 50. This is where I took it long yesterday, and I literally had a target back up to these highs to give me a couple of percent, and it did it, and I was out. That was it. That was my target, just in case it decided to come further down. It carried on to the upside, of course, and it could have been left and could have had hundreds of pips in the last 24 hours. But we don't know that's what's going to happen. That we do not know that is what's going to happen. And unless I was staying awake all night to manage it, then there was no way I was going to just leave it and hope. I mean, I did see later in the evening this sort of move happening, and again, it is what it is. As I say, if you're banking a percent or so every single day, that's the name of the game. Then you get a few losers, of course, and you end up between the 10 and 20% mark, and it's happy days. But yeah, it's important to have those targets for that reason. And if I was someone that's holding it, just say I had this long, which was after that candle yesterday, and then this happened. Yes, we're back around there now, but I would have been well stopped out, and I could have closed out at 300 pips. So again, this is why holding for me is not a very good technique of trading. In fact, now just at 20, you might see further downside now, just sideways consolidating. I'm sure we'll get another flush to the downside shortly. We had the test on the 30, and again that's a 15.10. But again, look, where this was acting as support, that will likely now act as some resistance. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But that's the reasoning for coming out when I did. Again, I was moving my stop anyway, so even if I didn't catch it and close it out manually, I would have been stopped out at sort of 20 pips. So I've got it to by that point. So worst case, I was going to end up with 20 pips, and that's just the best way to do it. Always manage the trades, always adjust the stops when you can. It's so unfortunate that I'm in front of it all day, every day, and I can do that. This is why people that do trade different ways. Appreciate people don't do it full time, and that's why I use the high time frames. And it makes sense. I've traded that way, and if I see a trade that looks great on the day because of that, then I'll enter it, and I'll look to do intraday trades on that move as well. So you just have to trade to what works for you, and just stick to it. Stick to it's the most important thing. So is there anything else you've seen, guys, or you want to run over? Yep, it's only the short gold at the moment, which is it's pretty much a break even. I'm just sat there around break even at the moment. So yeah, that's the only live trade at the moment, and we'll see how it plays out. If we do get further breaks to the upside, then I'll be stopped out and I'll be looking for longs again. Yeah, I mean, these moves. So it's like we talked about with news moves before. What tends to happen is it shows a direction, then it consolidates and retraces, and then it carries on. And it does that often, and that's what I always said. Don't worry about trading on the day of news. You can trade the next day. So tomorrow, I do expect to see the moves that have happened today continue. And then the way that we capitalise on those is we wait for these pullbacks to the 30 minutes or the 1 hour, whatever we can see. Obviously, the higher the time frame, the stronger it is. But if it doesn't like to pull back enough to the 1 hour, then we go with the 30s. But we're getting if we do get that crossover of the 20 crossing over the 50 as this pulls down, when it pulls back up to that 20, that will be more signals for shorts. And you've got to go with the trend. Don't try and fight against it and guess. So yeah, as I say, tomorrow I'm sure there'll be more opportunities where things are retraced. Highlighted a couple. But yeah, just keep an eye. And just get into the trades. This is the important thing. What works, because then you'll remember it if it's cost you or you've made money on it, for example. That's what we need to embed. Yeah, I just see this doing some more downwards. Maybe we'll wake up and it's going to be down here somewhere. Never know, but it could potentially be a very big move to the downside. I mean, that could be acting as a head, shoulder, form another shoulder here, and then back down to minimum, form 60 here. See if that lines up with daily 20 or anything. Yeah, so funny enough, it does. So this could be the run back down to the daily 20 before more continuation to the upside, perhaps. We'll see. But this is a nice big bearish daily candle, and I'd expect to see continuation from that even if it's just a hair. So we'll see. Again, we look down on these lower time frames, it's again coming down. I expect it to probably break these lows. It's not broken above that one, so probably do another lower low. As I say, if we get to 95, 96 and I get another spiky candle, I'll probably close it out manually, take another 50 pips. Otherwise, you know, I'll let it run to 1490 and exit there. But let's see what it brings this evening. I'll be checking in again at 10 and seeing where it is. Yeah. First target is 1495. Even 1496 will give me 50 pips. So, as I say, if it starts slowing down and messing around at 96, like we did here, you know, if we get some kind of a double bottom forming there, and another spike candle in the 15 or 30 minutes, I'll exit manually and take whatever I've got. If not, if we do get break to downside, then yeah, 1490 back down to here is going to be where I target. Well, let's say if I get something that tells me to get out, then I'll take it. Whether that not even be 50 pips, if at least just 30 or 40 or 20, I'll take it. So I've actually done the SL just above 1512. So on the hourly it looks like this. Because, as I mentioned, we've got that resistance and support here. We've got the 1 hour 50 and the 1 hour 20. I just wanted just above those, so that if it does spike up and test those, it'll give us further to the downside. So I'm sort of doing more of a one-to-one here. You know, I'm risking 100 pips to potentially gain 100 pips. But I'm happy to do that because of the winning trades so far this week and today. If you're long dollar, Sandra, you're gonna want to hope that I'm right shorting gold because they don't go in the same direction. So hopefully we're both okay with those trades and complement each other anyway. So if one of us loses, then we both lose. Okay, guys. Well, there's no further questions. I will wrap it up there, and we'll try and touch base. If I get a chance later in the week and anything exciting happens, then by all means, I'll try and do so. Otherwise, we'll check in again next week. But otherwise, thanks for joining in. Very welcome, guys. Have a good evening, and good luck. And keep talking on the group, and we will reconvene and see where things are tomorrow. All the best.